Welcome to the review of our Water, Mills and Marshes Education and Community Engagement activity for 2019. During the programme, we will be finding out how we went about instilling a sense of place, a place to achieve ethos into our schools and community this past year. In a packed programme, we reveal which feature is a must-have for any Broad.
Got the pub where you can take a drink.
Why we had both a head and finger count when we took students to the International Boat Building College, a new type of pasta.
What's a Lamborghini? A type of pasta.
Why parents gave the project a huge round of applause, and finally, why this man should never be allowed to teach. Before we take a look at our education and learning activities, it's worth reminding ourselves exactly where we are against the engagement targets we set back in 2017. We set a 4-year target of reaching 47 schools and colleges and 2,797 students. After 2 years, we have engaged with 34 schools and colleges and 1,524 students. Both sets of figures are well ahead of our targets. As encouraging as these figures might be, they don't tell the whole story. We cannot find any similar initiative that devotes as many teaching hours to each child. In every primary school we visited, each pupil had at least 16 hours or 3 days of teaching time allocated to the project. That's a 25% increase on last year, and some had many more. To illustrate this, we chose to follow just one of the 11 primary schools we visited this year. This is the story of the pupils from Reedham Primary School. A 1-hour roadshow introduces the project to the pupils. Just to check they were listening, it also involves a quiz.
Broads, Exmoor, Dartmoor, Snowdonia, South Downs, Northumberland are all types of what?
There is only so much you can learn in a classroom, and excitement mounts as they prepare for their first experience. Their initial visit was to Reedham Water to learn about the local wildlife habitats.
Their nests in here, and they eat all the insects. Why would you build your nest in there?
This trip also included a visit to the International Boat Building Training College at Lowestoft, where they found out how boats were and are built. Next up was to see how a boat is designed and a chance to design their own.
So we can have compartments under the boat. We made it and we put family on it, and we've got some storage baskets here.
One of the highlights was examining a scale model replica of the medieval Chet boat discovered locally. Pupils got the chance to take a look at how the boat was built using period tools. How did they join wood together in the Middle Ages? Well, they called it roving, and it works like this. From roving to carving, and a lesson on how to carve your name. Cover your eyes, there could be blood. The next adventure was the much anticipated Broads experience trip. A full day of visits and activities aimed firmly at giving pupils a real sense of place. First stop was Polkey's Mill, for those that were good at heights.
If the wind changes direction, that will pick that up and it will turn the whole cap to face into the wind. So the cap or the sails always face into the wind. You can see some old bits of timber.
Southern Comfort was next on the list. No, not that type. The Southern Comfort is a Mississippi paddle boat out of Horning. You never know the Broads unless you have been on them, so this trip was designed to give pupils information on the uses of the river, wildlife and habitats.
On the right hand side of the boat you've got water lilies and willow trees. This one here.
To end the day, we went to How Hill Nature Reserve to learn more about wildlife and in particular, aquatic life.
Oh, we got something else! We got something else in there!
Oh, wow. Can I go show Natasha?
Yeah, look through that.
Oh my god, that looks great! Look at that!
All the activities were leading to one point. Had the pupils learned enough to design and build their own Broad? They could not build any old Broad. They had to calculate the cost to the environment versus the benefits to humans. a tricky calculation.
No, we don't do the £10.
Once the calculations were complete, the tasks of designing and building could begin. When completed, the pupils proudly presented their Broads.
We got the pub where you can take a drink, the house, and the raft. Got the good old windmill.
If you continue, you'll see an array of wildlife such as ducks, otters, eels, and kingfishers, and owls.
In our Broad, you can go on a beautiful boat trip that you can see all the nature such as fish, geese, and swans. You can also visit down at the pub where you can get a drink.
Head teacher Chris Edwards held a special parents' evening to showcase the work of his pupils. It included a special version of the film clip you have just seen. We were working towards showcasing the winning 50 Broads in a Box entries at a special event in Fairhaven Primary, but wondered if we could involve pupils as young as 6 years old. We took Year 1 and 2 pupils from Fairhaven Primary to How Hill, where they gathered all kinds of materials found on the ground as inspiration for making their collages. These, along with the winning entries from all schools participating in this year's Broads in a Box competition, were showcased at a special awards event held at Fairhaven School. Parents were impressed. This year saw the start of a brand new conservation project, the introduction of the Greater Water Parsnip to a local nature reserve. In the autumn of 2019, students from 4 schools went on a seed collecting expedition at Cantley Marshes. These seeds have been dried and stored for the winter and will be sown by the students into pots at school, where they will be tended until big enough for the students to plant out into the dikes at Thorpe Marshes Nature Reserve. Our success in primary schools is largely due to our ability to add high-quality teaching expertise and content to the existing school academic parameters. High schools are different, as they already have specialist subject teachers. Our approach to high schools and colleges is to work closely with staff to enable them to extend their own offering and enabling them to provide experiences that their pupils would not normally have access to. We mentored student volunteers from East Norfolk Sixth Form College as they worked with primary school students on various aspects of the Water, Mills and Marshes project. We facilitated the participation of Acle Academy students in a fabulous art project run by Glyn Brewerton, tutor at the Norwich University of the Arts.
Not only did we really want students to engage with the rural landscape, but also get them to really become interested in art and design as a possible future career as well. It was a bit of a eureka moment for some people who really became inspired by the subject, but also the environment that surrounded them. It was purely creative and not in the school environment, they were in a different place.
The project has been important to the pupils and the school and the parents and the staff here, because they don't usually get the opportunity to visit their local area and then respond to it, and over like a 4-day process over 4 weeks they've created something that they're going to keep forever.
This year's Broads album has proved to be even more diverse and quality-packed than last year's. Students from Lowestoft Sixth Form College and Sir John Lehman School at Beccles were both taken on an experience trip to gain inspiration. It took 2 months of hard work by the students to prepare and practice their songs. The music was finally recorded and ready for release in December. A live event is planned to showcase the album in February. Are we achieving our aim of offering high schools a unique set of experiences?
The Water, Mills and Marshes project has been fantastic. The opportunity of having it in school has opened our eyes to what the younger students are able to compose and work in groups really well together. It's given them an opportunity that they don't get in their normal class lessons because they have to work with certain people. It's this way they've been able to choose the students they work with and have come up with some really creative ideas. And I've been able to see what they can really do.
This year, we wanted to increase our engagement levels within the community. Here's a roundup of how we went about it. This year, we have concentrated our efforts in the eastern area of the project. At the beginning of the year, we asked if we could become involved in the Acle Schools Cluster annual song and dance event held in front of 600 parents in Norwich. The organisers were delighted to theme the whole event to the Broads and the natural environment. 7 schools produced songs and dance routines to this theme, with the finale given over to a group performance of What a Wonderful World, set against the backdrop of a film made by ourselves featuring footage taken by our own drone. I think the audience liked it, but they were not the only happy ones. A few Reedham primary students had something to add.
I thought we were going to mess up a lot.
We did it.
Acle Primary only needed a little guidance to devote a whole term to the project and then showcase their efforts at a special parent event.
So when we were approached by Water, Mills and Marshes, we thought this would be a perfect opportunity to bring it, make it cross-curricular. So we tried to tie in all of our literacy, our history, our geography, and our art, our DT, just to kind of give it a broader feel and to really emphasise our local area.
Of course, if you wish to reach the wider community, you need to be at both school and other local community events. This year we visited village fetes, school fetes and sports days. Each event gave us an opportunity to explain and promote the project to the community, as well as supporting the staff and pupils that are key to the success of the initiative. Many project partners, such as Norwich University of the Arts, do not have the community contacts to readily engage with their project audience. It was our pleasure to assist the NUA by organising and supervising the participation of both English Plus, a charity that supports new communities in Norwich to learn English, and Herring House Trust, a charitable housing association working for single homeless people in the borough of Great Yarmouth.
It was really enjoyable to work with a whole range of different people to enable people to just experience that landscape.
Our final art project was one that we developed and delivered in partnership with Greater Anglia Community Rail Partnership on the Wherry Line. The Art on the Line project involved a host of primary schools that were sited close to the Wherry Line. Pupils visited sites of interest close to their village and then produced various pieces of artwork that represented what they had discovered.
That's supposed to be the bridge. Look, I'm doing. Oh yeah.
Lowestoft Station hosted the launch of the exhibition, which proved hugely popular with locals as well as parents.
When I was doing my artwork, I felt really excited and also a little bit worried because I thought that it wasn't going to be good enough. But when I showed it to my teacher, she was happy with it, and I felt really pleased with myself. But I think my favourite bit about it was my seagull, because I had to keep on doing it over again because I didn't really like how it looked, and in the end I finally found that I liked my last one.
Many of these illustrations are destined to be prominently displayed at local railway stations in 2020. We continued to reach influential groups during the year and provided tours of the project area to organisations such as the Great Yarmouth Civic Society and a group of tutors from East Norfolk Sixth Form College. It's always nice to involve a particularly heartwarming group in Water, Mills and Marshes. This set of young carers have particular challenges to live with and really took to the role of producing an augmented reality project using a 360 camera and software. We spoke to the one in charge.
So basically, there were some goggles that we put a phone into, and there was some basically there was some pictures and it made it look like real life, like we were in the picture. And what we are doing is we are taking pictures of the mill and the outside, and we are going to put it together to make a tour, so people don't have to come here, they can look on our website, and it's going to be for school children.
Back in February 2017, the project had a substantial problem. During this development phase, the team at Clarity recognised that the proposed Heritage Construction Skills Training programme was unworkable. With over £1 million allocated to mill restoration, something had to change. We totally redesigned the programme from the ground up. The outcome was a truly unique and innovating approach. But would it pay off? The answer became clear in November of this year when the project won a national award at the Constructing Excellence Awards held in London. We are always trying to find ways of cementing relationships with stakeholders in the project, as well as helping others that are an integral part of the Broads National Park family. As a thank you for their help during the year, we produced free of charge a film that promoted the How Hill Trust residential environmental courses for primary schools. We wanted to produce an honest account, so we went for a warts and all film. First the wart, and then some of the all.
Our dissection is really gross because you have to peel other animals' fur to try and find loads of bones.
Right, so I've got you.
But my favourite bit was going on the boat ride and exploring it. I liked when the water was waving about and it was really calm.
We are on one of the Norfolk Broads, and this broad is called Barton Broad, and it's massive.
When we went on the boat ride, we saw 21 species altogether of birds, and I loved it.
The film was responsible for the next 12 months' residential course vacancies to be sold out. They liked the film so much, they entered it for the Charity Film of the Year award. This little chap played a big part in 2019. As well as using it for our general filming on the Broads, we specifically used it to supply schools with footage and photographs that enabled pupils, staff and parents to see, for the first time, their school in context with the Broads. Time to look ahead to 2020 and the changes we propose to make to the programme. Our current education engagement programme already has a further 11 primary schools and 2 high schools in the Beccles and Bungay area registered with it for 2020. We plan to add photography and filmmaking to the project, which will allow even more opportunities for student interpretation and community showcasing. Building on the success of our camping activities in 2018, we will now be offering even more camping, discovery short breaks to pupils. We have also committed to providing the entire Year 7, that's 250 pupils, at Sir John Lehman High School at Beccles with a water experience trip, enabling them to produce artwork, music, literature and dance that reflects their experience. We have almost come to the end of this review, but bear with us for a moment. There was a little-known red carpet film festival held in Reedham in May. This is how it came about and what came out of it. Look out for the head teacher with an unscrupulous agenda. Pupils at Reedham had worked hard to organise an event to celebrate the opening of the recently restored North Mill at Polkeys. Unfortunately, events conspired against the project and it had to be shelved. To put a smile back on the disappointed faces, we offered to produce 2 films starring staff and pupils. These were shown at a special parents' event at the school.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Edwards.
School funding's at an all-time low. I need you to steal me a Lamborghini, Mercedes, BMW.
What's a Lamborghini? A type of pasta.
The chop shop is waiting for it. Right, get your team together, take one of these and I'll be in contact.
We need to nick a car. I know where a Merc is. It's on the high street.
You lot are look out for the cops.
Go!
It's all clear, give the signal.
It's open. Get in. Come on, what's taking you so long? I'm going as fast as I can.
It's been ages.
Where have you got to?
He doesn't sound very happy.
Who you texting?
I'm texting my dad. I can't drive, I'm only 11.
Cut. What do you mean you're texting your dad?
This is rubbish.
You okay? How can we help you?
Do you need an ambulance?
See the light! I'm gonna follow the light. I don't want to follow the light. Oh,
She can't act. She's overreacting. I could do a better job than that.
Oh!
The continuity is terrible.
What's continuity?
It's when something stays the same for a long time.
My pocket money must be continuity then.
Call the ambulance. Have you called the ambulance?
She only got the role because she gave the director a donut.
Don't be silly. No, she's right. No, she's not. Yes, she is.
Cut.
She started it.
She started it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
This is even worse than the last film.